up, guys? The phenomenal AJ Styles, and you're watching Bretto Live.
What is going on, guys? Bretto Live back with another video, and welcome to the Week in Review, episode 86. Yes, guys, 86. We are on our way to episode 90, and then eventually episode 100. Boy, am I excited. But yeah, we're going to start off with not a half bad show. Monday Night Raw. As I said, not a half bad show at all. This is the Week in Review setup where we go over Raw and SmackDown in a setup style. Tell you guys what happened, tell you what I thought about it. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting over here was Xavier Woods versus Cedric Alexander in a one-on-one match. And of course, Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin, they haven't been able to prove themselves against the New Day. They've lost 3 consecutive matches in a row. I think for tag team championships, they've lost. So of course, Cedric Alexander wanted to make a name for himself here. Yes, he did pick up the victory over Xavier Woods, but still, he's not the Raw tag team champion. So you basically get nothing. That wasn't half bad. Moving over here, it was Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus Lana and Asuka yet again here in another match. So honestly, I think Lana and Asuka, I think that might turn into a tag team, sadly. But yes, it was Lana and Asuka versus Nia and Shayna. It was an okay match in the end. Lana actually pinned Shayna Baszler. With a little help from Asuka. Asuka actually like kicked Shayna Baszler in the back of the head. I'm like, no way, it's over. That's how they ended the match. And then Lana just pins her. I'm like, what? So yeah, Lana pinned Shayna Baszler, and then they ended up winning. So that was pretty interesting. It was pretty boring, to be honest. But moving over here, it was a Symphony of Destruction match. It was Jeff Hardy versus Elias, and I really felt bad for Jeff Hardy at the end of this match. I really hope he's okay, honestly. But yeah, Symphony of Destruction, guitars, ukuleles, freaking violins, drums, a big bass. Literally every instrument you could think of was on ringside. They used it to inflict damage on their opponent. Elias, Jeff Hardy, pretty insane match. At the end, Jeff Hardy and Elias set up just like this. Table right here, hopped on top of the steel post, swanton bomb, boom, boom, boom. Head right off the bottom of the steel stairs. I'm like, oh my god, check on him. Like, is he okay? Like, legitly, like... I at the time of filming this video, I don't know the current what's going on with Jeff Hardy, but he has to have a concussion. There's no way he doesn't. He has to. So I really hope Jeff Hardy gets well soon. But insane way to end the match, to be honest with you. That was freaking crazy. Moving over here, beginning of the show, it was Randy Orton on a special guest and a Moment of Bliss. By the way, brand new Fiend Ultimate Edition video on the channel, guys. But yeah. Basically coming out saying, oh, I know the Fiend's weakness. Alexa Bliss is like, you burned down, of course, relating to Randy Orton burning down Sister Abigail's house. But yeah, now he knows the Fiend's weakness, which is Alexa Bliss, because the lights started going out. He picked up Alexa Bliss, and the Fiend appeared. He's like, stop. And then he threw Alexa Bliss back to the Fiend, so he knows the Fiend's weakness. So it's Alexa Bliss. How interesting is that? Very interesting in my opinion. Moving over here, it was Ricochet versus Slapjack of Retribution, and I'm like, why are we seeing this? Please don't make Slapjack win this match. And of course, Slapjack won the match. During the match, actually, closing to the end, Dana Brooke actually snuck up behind Mustafa Ali and then slapped him across the face, of course, because Reckoning did attack Dana Brooke a couple weeks back and then forced her to get out of the Survivor Series match, so I fully understand that. But yeah, Ricochet lost to Slapjack. Ricochet deserves way better. He deserves the United States title. He deserves the Intercontinental Championship, even though he's not on SmackDown, which they should have drafted him to SmackDown, in my opinion. But yeah, anyways, it was Dana Brooke versus Reckoning later in the show, and Dana Brooke, I would say that she pretty much dominated Reckoning. I was surprised, or Mia Yim, whatever you guys want to call it. But yeah, she took out Reckoning, and yeah, at the end, Mustafa Ali he's like, you disappointed me. There's no such thing as failure in Retribution. I'm like, well, there is. Your entire group's a big failure. Nobody cares about you, Mustafa Ali. To be honest with you, you were more relevant when you were doing that light thing with your hand. But yeah, moving over here, a triple threat match. Keith Lee, Matt Riddle, AJ Styles. Winner faces Drew McIntyre at TLC for the WWE Championship. I was pulling for AJ Styles, and it happened. AJ Styles snuck the victory. He hit the Styles phenomenal forearm on Matt Riddle, or should I say Riddle, and then pinned Matt Riddle. I'm like, wow, I thought they were going to give it to Keith Lee again. I'm like, oh, they're not going to give me what I want. They're not going to give me AJ Styles, but they did. As I said, I thought they were going to give it to Keith Lee, but I'm glad it's AJ. It's going to be AJ Drew at freaking TLC. That's going to be so awesome. Moving over here, main event of the show. Well, first, there was actually a Miz TV episode. Pretty good, by the way. Miz and Morrison actually got the best of Sheamus in that Miz TV. They attacked him with the briefcase after an insane altercation of words. You have to check it out on WWE's YouTube channel. But yeah, Sheamus, Andrew McIntyre versus Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey, ho, ho. There was really no definite winner to this. Nearing the end of the match, AJ Styles, he was on commentary. Boom, phenomenal forearm right on Drew McIntyre. I'm like, wait a minute, AJ? Ding, 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 ding. And there goes the bell. I'm like, no way. AJ just ruined this entire matchup. And then he had Drew down. Sheamus was also down. And then Miz was like, dude, this is our match. Why are you interfering in our match? And then AJ's like, dude, cash in your briefcase. He's down. What are you doing? And then Miz is like, oh my God. He came to a realization. He's like, oh my God, he is down. I'm going to try to cash in, but it didn't work out. Claymores for everybody. He sent Morrison over the top rope, Claymore the Miz, and then had a face-to-face confrontation with AJ Styles. I thought it was a banger way to end the show. Thought that was freaking awesome. But yes, guys, that was Monday Night Raw. In the end, I'm honestly going to give Raw a 7 out of 10. Not a bad show at all. It had me bored at some points, like this stuff all on ringside. Basically, all the stuff outside of the ring was boring, minus the Symphony of Destruction. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I'm gonna give the show a 7, 8 out of. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna be nice. 8 out of 10 for Monday Night Raw. Now let's jump into SmackDown. Okay, guys, moving into SmackDown, we are gonna jump right on in. Starting over here, Sasha Banks, Carmella. They were sort of had like an interview war. They were in 2 separate rooms backstage. They were hosting an interview. Well, Michael Cole was hosting an interview, asking a couple questions, basically just saying Sasha and Carmella are more similar than they think, but basically just building up the rivalry. Of course, for TLC, they're definitely going to be going at it for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Other than that, I thought that interview was pretty lame. Moving over here, it was actually a tribute to Pat Patterson, R.I.P., to the first ever Intercontinental Champion. A little tribute here. We have 6 former Intercontinental Champions, 1 current, of course, Sami Zayn. It was Rey Mysterio, Daniel Bryan, and Big E versus Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Pretty awesome match. I liked the end. It was Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler having a basically like a confrontation in the ring. They had some pretty good exchange of moves in the end, Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan, but in the end, somehow, Daniel Bryan was able to hook an inside cradle on Sami Zayn to pick up the victory, of course, building up probably for their Intercontinental Championship match. It's probably going to be Daniel Bryan versus Sami Zayn at TLC, which sounds awesome. I would love to see Daniel Bryan have another Intercontinental Championship reign. I think that would be awesome. I think he's only ever had one, and that was at WrestleMania 31 when he won that ladder match. Awesome match, by the way. But yeah, it would be pretty cool to see Daniel Bryan against Sami Zayn at TLC. I think that would be pretty awesome. Moving over here, it was Nutella. No, just kidding. It was it was Natalya versus Bayley in one-on-one match. Bianca Belair on ringside. And this was shocking. This was very shocking to me. Well, Bianca Belair, she posed as a little distraction for Bayley. A little. Nothing too crazy. But in the end, Natalya actually had the sharpshooter locked in on Bayley, and Bayley tapped out. I'm like, no way. Bayley tapped out of the sharpshooter. I'm like, what? That's crazy. I couldn't believe it because Bayley, I'm just so not used to her losing. It's crazy. But yeah, she did. Yeah, she lost. I'm like, wow. And Natalya picked up the victory. Not half bad. I guess they're building up Natalya a little more. And of course, Bianca Belair, one of my favorites right now, which is pretty freaking cool. For here, it was Murphy versus Baron Corbin. And last week, of course, Baron Corbin said, you know what? I'm going to bring back up next week. I'll be ready. I want a rematch against you, Murphy. And King Corbin came out with first. I didn't realize who they were. But then I'm like, wait a minute. That's Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler from the Forgotten Sons. So I guess they're not with Jackson Riker anymore. I guess they're not doing the Forgotten Sons anymore. We haven't seen them in a long freaking time. So I guess they're here with King Corbin now. They're the goons of the king. So that's pretty cool. And they definitely helped as a big distraction for King Corbin to hit a end of days and then win the match and take out Buddy Murphy, because of course they right nearing the end, literally Steve Cutler and Wesley Blake, they attacked Dominic and Rey Mysterio. And interesting, Wesley Blake and Buddy Murphy, if I'm not mistaken, were a tag team down in NXT a while ago, so that's pretty freaking interesting. But yeah, King Corbin's finally got some backup on his side, which is pretty cool. I thought that was pretty awesome. Moving over here, main event of the show, it was Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus Kevin Owens and Otis, and I honestly really felt bad for Otis in this match. They've really just been burying him ever since he lost the briefcase, Mandy Rose, literally everything, basically. He's just been getting buried. Roman Reigns actually had a delay to get out to the match. He's like, you know what, you're going to get a punishment, Jey Uso. And I thought the punishment was going to be a 1-on-2 handicap match, but no, we know the punishment would come after the match. So that was pretty interesting, but I'll get to that. But yeah, Reigns beat the crap out of Otis with steel stairs. I'm like, wait, where's the bell? This should be a disqualification. Where's the bell? But yeah, they did not disqualify Roman Reigns, and then Roman Reigns hopped in the ring without a tag and then took out the other guy on the other side of the ring. That should also be another disqualification. But then finally at the end, Roman Reigns came in, he hooked the guillotine on Kevin Owens. I'm like, you better disqualify him now, referee. What is going on? And he finally disqualified Reigns. I'm like, it's the third time. Like, what the heck is going on? But after that, Match was thrown out of the window. If you even want to say Kevin Owens won by disqualification, I mean, who even cares about that? And right after the match, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, they both got steel chairs and they start beating the crap out of KO. And then when Jey thought he was safe, Reigns got his steel chair and beat the crap out of Jey Uso. Not a full turn on him, but a punishment indefinitely. So that was pretty interesting. Again, not a turn. He didn't turn on Jey Uso, but definitely a punishment, I'd say. Definitely. But yes, guys, that was SmackDown. That was Raw setup style. Let me know what you guys thought about the shows down in the comments below. I'm going to give SmackDown a 6 out of 10. I didn't think it was the best show. You guys could, again, let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below. But I'll see you guys next time. Brita Live out.